Good evening. It is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you would please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Well, on behalf of the school board administration, we thank you for being here this evening, whether you're here in person or virtual. And speaking of the school board, I'm Jackie Deckard. I'm the president of the board. To my left is Matt Hankins, vice president. On his left is Heather Staggs, secretary. To her left is Dan Conway, board member. And at the far end is Luke Jackson, board member. To my right is Superintendent Boland. And on his right is assistant to the superintendent, Mrs. Susie Lips. So thank you very much for being here this evening. And I know we want to get started right away with, it's always exciting when we can share the accomplishments of our staff and our students and all the great things that they're doing in our school corporation. So, Mr. Boland?
Okay, we have the honor of having Ms. McGowan here with some students representing the Habitat Build, the partnership that the high school and the district has had with Habitat now going on a couple years. We've got 2 builds under our belt, and it's been a great project. So, Ann, if you want to step to the mic, and if anybody that speaks tonight, I want to put this out to you. Speak directly into the microphone for the audience at home. We are in the process of getting an updated system, but it's going to be a while before everything is here. So speak directly into the mic and people at home can hear you. Ms. McGowan?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you letting me come back again and report to you how it went. This year, it went very well. We didn't have any delays on materials, and the family will be in the house by Christmas. We started the build on September the 9th. The dedication, and everybody, the community is invited. Everybody's invited to the dedication of the house on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And then the homeowner will get the keys and she'll be able to have her family in by Christmas. I do want to recognize, I have 3 of my student leaders here, if you wouldn't mind standing up. We have Crimson Hickman, Allie Greenwell, and Carter Dawson. Thank you. They declined to speak, so I guess I'll do the speaking. They're 3 of my 11 leadership team members from the high school. About half of them are juniors and half of them are seniors. The juniors have all agreed to carry over and be on the leadership team again next year, and I've already recruited 4 new people for next year, and there'll probably be several others that will probably join. What the leadership team does is they help organize, plan, recruit for both the builders and the lunches, and then they've all led a team and come out and worked. I think all 3 of these have worked at more than one time on the build. You will see the pictures that are rolling by just to see some of the activity out at the site. This year we have had 106 different students came out to the build site and participated in the build. And altogether counting, non-building activities like working at the fair and other things like that, we've had 117 students that have come and participated, which is very exciting. We are having a celebration banquet, and I had intended to bring a hand each one of you a copy. I sent one to your email through the school board thing, but I don't know where those ever go. So if you didn't get an invitation, I can send you another one. But the celebration banquet is on January 7th at the high school, starting at 6 o'clock. The Martinsville High School Chamber Orchestra is going to play first, and then there'll be a buffet at 6:30. And one of the student leaders on the team, Austin Bray, is is our documentarian this year, so he'll have prepared a video, which I have not seen. They get kind of free reign to do that, and the video will be sort of a summation of what's happened during the year. I will tell you that the students this year were outstanding. We plan for 12 volunteer days. We don't do everything. We don't put the tile on the roof. We don't do the drywalling. So professionals come in. But as far as volunteer work days, we planned for 12. We were done in 9. So we had people from the choir. We had the boys tennis team. We had the boys uh, basketball team, the girls basketball team, the girls volleyball team, football players, student council, FFA. Probably missed somebody and I'll be in big trouble. But we had actually more volunteers. We had another team that wanted to do a volunteer day, but I ran out of days to give them. So it's a program that's worked very well. I would say 50% of the kids that I shouldn't call them kids, students, young adults that were out on site, when I would send them pictures from the build day, would respond back, thanks for the opportunity. Uh, it's been good for the community. It's great for Habitat to have a new whole cadre of volunteers, but it's also good for the students. And I noticed that when I went to senior night at the football game, that there were a number of the football players that had included in their, senior resume, when you say all of their accomplishments, that, one of them was on the student leadership team, and some of them, made sure that we knew that they worked on the build. So it's giving the kids a good opportunity to put on their college applications, on their job applications, their scholarship applications, the actual opportunity to have worked for Habitat. And for the student leaders, they've really done a wonderful job. They only have to work now until January 7th, and then they get a couple of months off. The juniors that will be seniors next year, they'll have to start all over again. Do any of you guys want to say anything? No. No, thank you. Okay, I do invite you to come to the banquet and share with us the celebration of the house. You will meet the homeowner. The students all got to meet the homeowner when we were out on site. We couldn't do this without the Habitat heroes. Oh, I also did want to mention that we had one day this year where it was the high school teachers and administrative staff that came out and build. So we let them have a build. The students decided to challenge them to one day. So it was during fall break, and they came out and did an awesome job. John R. Wooden did the first lunch. They also had their fast forward group come out and do another lunch. The Junior National Honor Society is going to serve at the banquet. So students are getting involved from a lot of different perspectives, and it's been a great opportunity. Thanks for it. Okay, yeah, we have Joe and Jewel Blevins that they're sort of like a team. They're husband and wife, and they're our construction supervisors. So they are always out on site. And then we usually have between 3 and 6 other additional adults. What we like to do is have one, what I call Habitat heroes or mentors, for each 3 kids. So for each 3 students that are working, then you have someone who is telling them what to do. And there are more people in the community that have talent that could come out, and we're going to invite them to. I mean, this year Carter's dad came out one day on the first build when we were putting the floor box in, and I have a couple of people coming to the banquet that I hope will see how much fun this is and how important it is to the students to get this mentoring, that they'll say, yeah, I'll come out and help. Plus, we had a couple of administrators on the day that the boys basketball team painted. Kip Staggs came out, and he was the quality control person, so he wasn't confident necessarily that some of the boys were as meticulous with the paint as he would like them to be. So he was checking it out and checking it twice. So he was kind of supervising it. We did have a couple of really good painters, so if there's anybody out there that wants to hire some kids to paint, there were some of them were really good at cutting in. But it's an all-around effort. When the cheerleaders came, Mrs. Cheatham came out, we usually ask the faculty advisors not to work unless we're short of people to let the students get the opportunity, but they're there and encouraging them. So I don't know. I don't know of anybody that didn't have a good opportunity or a good experience. Yeah. No. Any other questions? 460 South Colfax.
I think we owe Ms. McGowan a big thank you too for
Yes,
heading this up. So
absolutely.
thank you.
you.
It is definitely a program and project that we're excited to participate in. We always challenge our students to become part of something that is bigger than themselves, and this program is exactly that. And it's great to see how it has grown, and you have wonderful students that are there working with you, and we're proud of them. So great job to the students and to the Habitat mentors. Great job for this community of Martinsville.
Thank you very much. We reached the part of our agenda for public speaking on agenda items. Courtney, do we have anyone that signed up? Okay. We'll move into our consent agenda. Our consent agenda does include payroll claims, budgetary claims, personnel report, prior board meeting minutes. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. So I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mr. Bowen?
Okay, on field trips, we do have one request from the athletic department at the high school to send 3 football coaches to the conference association, Football Coaches Association conference in Nashville. It's an out-of-state conference, so that needs board approval. There are no funds from the district going to this, so I recommend approval.
All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the field trip professional travel request.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor of approving the student field trip to Nashville, Tennessee, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Actually, I guess it's an adult field trip more than a student field trip, so. All right.
Sorry, I teed you up wrong on that one.
All right, Mrs. Lips, time for the curriculum instructional assessment report.
Good evening. Curriculum information. At the November board meeting, I reported about the MSD of Martinsville's educational efforts to eliminate substance abuse by students. Key points from last month: the district recently installed vape detectors in restrooms at Martinsville High School and John R. Wooden Middle School, and the Indiana State Police have ensured that these new vape detectors have been properly installed and, despite rumors, do not have cameras. Also, in this effort to eliminate substance abuse by students, the MSD of Martinsville has partnered with the Morgan County Prosecutor's Office, the Morgan County Probation Department, and Judge Peden with the Martinsville City Court to create a substance intervention education program for Martinsville High School and John R. Wooden Middle School students. This program will begin January 2024 for high school students and middle school students who vape or use any illegal substance at school. Today, the Director of Student Service, Tiffany Oswalt, and I both met again with Prosecutor Soniga and the Morgan County Substance Abuse Council representatives to add an additional layer of our programming for educational support for our students in health classes at Wooden Middle School and Martinsville High School. We will be collecting data and reporting back to the school board in the same venue in the near future. Another item, Stop It Solutions. Stop It Solutions is an anonymous tip line. The MSD of Martinsville will begin using Stop It to replace our current available tip line. The choice to move to Stop It is based on the 24-hour, 7-day per week staffing of the Stop It phone lines, when a person will always answer the phone and proceed as necessary. Parents, on January 5th, there will be more information to you about Stop It. Please check your emails. Upcoming district events, many of these are curriculum district events, and some of the others are just highlighted celebrations and showcases. But just so that you can save these events for your 2024 calendars as those calendars start to roll in, we have February 17th, our Martinsville High School Hall of Fame dinner and induction begins at 5 o'clock in the Martinsville High School cafeteria, and then we'll proceed to the gymnasium prior to the basketball game. February 21, our 8th grade students and parents are invited to an open house at Martinsville High School. It will start in the auditorium, but will conclude in the field house for an MHS academic and programming showcase. Events start at 6 o'clock that night. On February 29th, we have a district robotics showcase in the Martinsville High School field house. March 28th, kindergarten kickoff in the Martinsville High School field house. April 8th is the solar eclipse, where we are involved with the path of totality, and so we and our students will have asynchronous learning that day, e-learning day. April 9th, we will also have a synchronous learning day with live instructions where students will be at home. Teachers will be giving live instruction that day. On April 9th in the evening, our district math bowl competition will be facilitated at Bell Intermediate Academy. April 12th is the Morgan County Unified Track Meet at Ciderwitz Field. April 12th and 13th, we have District Fine Arts Showcase at the Art Sanctuary here in Martinsville. And the biggest event of the year, May 24th, is our Martinsville High School commencement at John R. Wooden Gymnasium. There are many other school events throughout the year that will be sprinkled into the calendar. These are the highlights. These are the big district events. Thank you much. Thank you so much, and thank you for attending tonight.
Thank you, Mrs. Lips. Now we move down to our action items, and the first item is, as maybe some of you know who come to the monthly meetings, we've been taking about 20 policies each month and trying to get those up to date, and we were a little bit behind in the last few years trying to get some of those up to date and where they needed to be with Indiana code, so that's why we have so many. Board members, are there any comments, or are there any policies here that you wish to pull out? Okay. And Mr. Bowen, I would suggest that we approve them all as a whole.
Yes.
All right. I would like to ask for a motion then to approve action item number 1 through 20.
I move to approve action items 1 through 20.
All right. And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Thank you. So I have a motion and a second to approve policies, action items 1 through 20. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Action item 21 is the superintendent contract. Last week, December 7th, we had a hearing for Mr. Boland's contract, and actually no one showed up, so I guess that's a good thing. So with the proposed changes, so all that support. So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve superintendent contract.
I'll move that we approve the superintendent contract.
I'll second.
All right, thank you very much. So I have a motion and a second to approve superintendent contract. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Action item number 22. First, I thank you, board, for your trust, and appreciate that very much, and for all the support everybody had last week for me.
I wasn't here last week.
That's right.
That's what Michigan people do. Okay. Action item number 22. I'm really proud of this one. Whenever I was hired 2 years ago, the board told me that safety was the number one priority, and we set about really improving the safety apparatus, the safety systems, the safety protocols here in the district. We got new cameras. We're getting new radios that will be digital throughout the district and have total comprehensive coverage. That's coming up here at the first of the year. We're doing all this, but we also had an endeavor here to create our own police department here for the MSD of Martinsville. Statutorily, this is something that we were looking to do, and we've got a new chief of police. Before it was the safety director, but with Chris Wright hiring earlier in the fall, this is a big step for us as a district, and we are doing a lot of great things. You heard what Mrs. Lips talked about. A lot of these initiatives, the anti-vaping, the educational components, the Stop It app, all this is coming from the efforts of Doug back here, Doug Rather, who we hired just a month and a half ago, and Chris Wright, our chief. They are working with us hand in glove to make sure that we improve the safety of our students and our staff. So I really am excited about this resolution, which puts one more check mark in the boxes so we can become statutorily satisfactory as a new law enforcement agency here with the state of Indiana. So I recommend approval of this resolution, proudly recommend approval of this one.
All right, I'd like to ask for a motion.
I move to approve the MSD of Martinsville Police Resolution.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. So all those in favor of approving the MSD of Martinsville Police Resolution signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The board had action item number 23, which deals with the school board meeting dates for next year. There were two that were amended from the third Thursday. That's March and October, obviously due to the breaks that we have. They are 1 week earlier due to those breaks, just like we did this year. I recommend approval of the calendar for the school board meeting.
All right, I'd like to ask for a motion for approving the school board meeting dates for 2024.
I'll make the motion, we approve the new dates for 2024.
Okay, do you have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. I would ask all those in favor of approving the 2024 school board meeting date signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The next one we're excited to be able to do as well. It's a stipend for our non-certified staff, our bus drivers, all of our aides, $400 for them, and then administrators, directors, $600 here at the Christmas time, the holidays. It's a $100 increase over what we did last year for each category, and I am excited to recommend approval of these stipends.
I'd like to ask for a motion for the proposed stipends.
I'll make a motion that we approve the proposed stipends.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
Thank you very much. All right, all those in favor of approving the proposed stipend signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. We have action item number 25. We are asking that we extend the Artesian Child Care contract to March 31st, 2024, so that our attorney has an opportunity to take a look and make any adjustments for the renewed contract moving forward. I recommend approval of this extension.
I'd like to ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the extension.
All right, and do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of extending the current Artesian Child Care contract through March 31st of 2024 signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Number 26, we have approval of the Martinsville High School roof bid contract that Mr. Stout spearheaded here over the last week. If there are any questions that you might have for Mr. Stout, he is here in person in case you do. Otherwise, I recommend approval of this bid.
I move to approve the Martinsville High School roof bid.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All those in favor of approving the Martinsville High School roof bid signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Number 27, permission to request proposals for student Chromebooks. Obviously, we're getting ready to get a new generation of Chromebooks for the high school students for next year. I recommend approval of this proposal request.
I'd like to ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve this request for the student Chromebooks.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor of giving permission to request proposals for the student Chromebooks signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Number 28, we have the 2023 and the 24 Competitive Science of Reading Grant in the amount of $149,564.01. This is for literacy coach at both Perrigan and South Elementaries and purchase and pilot science of reading curriculum materials. If the audience out there, the state has made a big push in the science of reading and the programming that goes into it. We are blessed to have received the grant and at the cutting edge of trying to push our district forward in reading and reading comprehension, starting at the early grades and bringing them up through. Very important endeavor. Obviously, the ability to read is the number one precursor to academic success for any child that enters the school system and matriculates up the ladder. So very excited about this one and recommend approval.
I'd like to ask for a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Could I ask one question though
sure.
beforehand? I know this runs out at the end of August. Are there plans in place to reapply for this then?
Yeah,
after?
we will reach out.
Okay.
I think the district's big focus for the last several years, we've had safety, we've had Project Lead the Way, which is obviously, STEAM initiative, right? And then obviously reading. Those are our big three, shall we say, that we'll hang our hat on, and we will try to get as many grants as possible to help push us forward. And as many adults as we can get in front of kids reading. That's why our reading program that we partner with a couple of local businesses to read up, that type of thing is really important for our kids. So yes, we are going to continue to pursue it and push it. And we're going to do it regardless, but we'll try to take advantage of the opportunity if we can.
This was a competitive grant. Not everyone gets this grant. We were only one of 22 schools in the state to get it, so it's a good thing.
That's a very, very good thing. I appreciate everybody working toward that. That's great.
Yeah, we're really proud of that.
All right, I had a motion to approve it. I'm looking for a second.
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. All those in favor of approving the Competitive Science of Reading grant signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, the next three I would like to combine into one vote, but I would definitely want to read the donators because they deserve our gratitude. Donation from Martinsville Classroom Teachers Association to MHS Athletics in the amount of $500. Donation from Moldin Enterprises LLC to MHS Robotics in the amount of $500. Donation from Smith Fine Arts PTO to Smith Fine Arts ECA in the amount of $2,200. Thank you to each one of these groups, and I recommend approval.
I'd like to ask for a motion to approve all of the donations that have been placed before us.
I'll make a motion to approve the donations.
In a
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Hankins. All those in favor of approving the donations that have been placed before us signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, now we've reached the part of our agenda for public comments. I'd like to remind anyone who signed up, they will have 3 minutes to speak. Your time will be on the board in front of you. No complaints about individual board members or administrators, no names being used. Other than that, if you violate that, I'll tell you while you're speaking. Courtney, do we have anyone? All right, Mr. Pond.
Well, hello, my name is Daniel Pond. I am an educator. Adolf Hitler used early childhood development as a weapon against society, saying, "He alone who owns the youth gains the future." Vladimir Lenin said, "Give me your 4-year-olds and I will build a socialist state." Prophesying about Jesus, Isaiah 9:6 states, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders." Jesus, the baby of Christmas, grew up, is the head of the church, also known as the ecclesia, or the governing body of society, in Matthew 16:18. If we believe God and his Messiah for mankind as the head, then it stands to reason that we should be considered the shoulders. We, as educators, are a governing body, shouldering the task of structuring curriculum, presenting age-appropriate knowledge, creating an atmosphere for positive and safe learning, while also allowing free thought and application of that learning to the express purpose of giving students opportunity to think and do for themselves, to make decisions based on facts and truth, and to create their own futures. It is ours to bring clarity and hope to that future. We are to cause no harm or confusion. Lenin also said, "We are not shooting enough professors." Let's consider Bloom's taxonomy of education. There are 6 levels. There's knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Indoctrination stops. Indoctrination stops halfway up this scale. Knowledge of facts, comprehension, and ultimately coercion by force on how to apply the facts. These are dictated by those who want to control what facts are being revealed, and that the truth is what they say it is. It does not allow for analysis, synthesis, or evaluation from the students' perspectives on truth and the facts of life around them. Hitler said, "What luck for rulers that men do not think." Lenin said, "Truth is the most precious thing. That's why we should ration it." Education is teaching the students how to think and do for themselves. Indoctrination, like Hitler and Lenin, is telling them what to think and how to apply it. This is not what our forefathers and mothers of American education intended. Please consider your place in governance. Is it bringing life and hope, or is it bringing despair and death? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pond. Do we have anyone else, Courtney? All right, thank you. Mr. Bowen, do you have any comments?
Yes, I do have just a few. Obviously, coming up on the holiday season, our break here for the audience out there is December 20th through January 2nd. Students will return January 3rd. Just a reminder, that is during Well Wednesday. That's a Wednesday. So that comes back on Well Wednesday. So just make sure you mark that on your calendar. Don't forget that over the holidays. Just like I used to forget my locker combination over the Christmas break. Don't forget that one for your students and push them out there at 7 o'clock or 6:30 or something and have them waiting for 2 hours for the secondary students. We also have the Madrigal Dinner, which is tomorrow night and Saturday evening at 6 o'clock. That's at the Art Sanctuary. If you've never heard the Madrigal singers and how their performance is and how it can definitely set you in the Christmas spirit, the holiday season, they do an unbelievable job. If you get an opportunity to go online. You can still order a few tickets. There are just a few left, but you have an opportunity to do that. We have the Martinsville Hall of Fame applications on our website. If there are any Martinsville graduates, they have to be 5 years out, that you would like to recommend for the Hall of Fame. There's an application process, and we have a review committee. So go online. I think it's like January 5th or something. It's the deadline to get that in. So there's just a few weeks left to do that. We already have a few applicants in, and they're fantastic. So we're excited to rekindle this. We used to do it on the odd number years, and hasn't been done since 2013. So it's time that we honor our graduates and people who have gone on to do great things in their fields. And it's also a great example for our students who are walking the halls of Martinsville High School to know that they too can go on and do great things. And speaking of that, going on and doing great things, we had the opportunity to have Dr. Jenner and Senator Pro Tem Bray visit us. Was it last week now? It's gone so fast. It was an unbelievable visit. We took them to Brooklyn Elementary to show them what we were doing in the STEM lab. We have been the recipient of several IDOE grants along the STEM line. I mentioned to you about the STEM aspect. And so they wanted to come and see what we were doing. And they were planning on being here with us an hour and 45 minutes or so. And they ended up spending 4 hours with us. And they even, at the high school, they even got in the welding booth and welded. They got the welder, and they actually got an opportunity to get the arc going and welding on steel. They were exposed to various programs that we have in place at both Brooklyn and then at the high school, and seeing how we are utilizing these next generation programming opportunities to show our students and expose our students to something that maybe they've never thought about before. And it was a fascinating visit for them. And I received, Dr. Jenner spoke at the superintendent's meeting on Friday, which would have been the day after this. And I had several texts. I had a pre-arranged meeting, so I wasn't able to go to that one. And I received texts from superintendents that said, hey, Dr. Jenner's given you and Martinsville, the school district, big shout outs here today. So just wanted you to know that. So there she was talking about us to all the superintendents that were gathered there for the annual meeting. That for us is a great thing, to have them come in, see what we're doing, and to say, you guys are doing some absolutely great things. And sometimes when you're in it, you don't realize what you're doing. You know, you're doing great things, but you're just doing what you normally do. But to have somebody from outside to come in and say, wow, you guys are doing some great things, and we're just like, oh, this is just what we do. I think it's time to pull back and say, you know, that is outstanding. The opportunities that we're providing for our kids is outstanding. And we're just touching the tip of the iceberg on this. The things that we have done over the last 3 years with STEM, and we'll call it STEAM because you add the A in for arts. We're doing that across the district, and each of the buildings are touching those things where we would have just a couple of buildings touching a few things. We'll have to have, next meeting, we'll put up a graphic for you that shows what we used to have 5 years ago to what we have today, and you'll see the connectivity of it, and it's just an unbelievable visual to show you what we are doing. How are we doing this? We're doing it through the grants. We're doing it through the programming. We're doing it through Well Wednesdays, through the PLCs that we've established. I hear some of my fellow educators of yesteryear talk to me and mention to me, hey, we didn't have to do that stuff back whenever we were teaching and principals and stuff like that. And it's like, no kidding. We also didn't teach riding horses. Things change. And we have to educate students. And we have to provide them opportunities to things so that they can find what they like and find what they don't like. Finding what you don't want to do is just as important as finding what you do want to do. So they need to be exposed to opportunities of pathways. I really applaud the state in the pathways, in doing that type of thing to expose kids to the next generation of jobs. That they tell us that It's like 90% of the jobs that kids that are entering our school system haven't even been created yet as they enter it. That's what world they're getting ready to face. We're not preparing our students for what was our world. We are preparing our students for what is their world and their future. It is not what it was whenever I entered education. It is not what it was when I became a teacher or an administrator. It is different. The requirements are different. The demands are different. I don't think I could do what we're asking them to do today, like the teachers of today do. I can tell you that. They are better than I ever dreamed of being. And I'm proud of that. I try to get out of their way, provide them resources and avenues to help them become better. That's what we're trying to do here in the MSD of Martinsville. And I think we're doing a really, really good job of that. And I'm proud of that. Are we where we want to be? No. But we are better than we were yesterday. I can guarantee you that. And I can guarantee you that we will be better tomorrow than we were today. I can guarantee you that too, because we have dedicated people that are working with our kids, from the bus drivers picking them up, to the food service serving them, to the technology people making sure we're doing it, to the aides that are helping the teachers deliver the curriculum, to the teachers in the classroom delivering the curriculum and assessing the curriculum, to the administrators making sure that they have all the resources they need in each building. That is a great thing, and that's what we do here in the MSD of Martinsville. And I'm proud of that. And here we are at the holiday season. I am really proud of the fact that we are doing that in the MSD of Martinsville. And I will try to get out of your way, teachers and staff, to the best of my ability, but we will continue to try to give you the resources you need. We're going to continue to get better. So whenever I talk to those educators that say, you know, we didn't have to do all that. We didn't have to have PLCs. No, you didn't. Back whenever I was an educator and got into education, I'm going to take just a minute. I apologize. This is my moment. They didn't tell me it was a minute. Don't put the timer up.
Time up on the board.
When I became an educator, there were like 84 applicants the first day the job came open. You know, I remember when I became a principal and I put out a job posting for social studies, there were 106 applicants within a week. 106. That was in 2005. Today, we put out an application or a job posting. We're lucky to get one. So, fellow educators who were with me and principals who were with me before, guess what we have to do now? We have to go out and recruit. We have to go out and find people who are good people that have skills that we can try to bring from other fields to bring them into education, because they're not getting trained in education, because nobody wants to do the job and take all the guff and the grief that they receive on a regular basis, and we're the ills of society, and it's because of us. That's what educators hear every day. That's what they hear on the news. That's what they hear from people, that they're not worth it. So who would want to go into it? So we go out and find people who are willing to step into the fray and work with kids and try to help kids. Those are great people, but they're not trained in education. So guess what we have to do? We have to train them on the job. That's what we do on Well Wednesdays. We are teaching teachers to become teachers on the job because they're not already trained. So my fellow principals of yesteryear, you didn't have to do that. We do now. And they say the number one ingredient for retaining teachers is collaboration time. That's it. Because they need support. They need mentors. They need the Debbie Burdens of the world to sit with them and say, this is how you do it. This is how you handle this. They need that from veteran teachers. But you have to have that time in order to do it. That's why I'm proud of what we're doing and how we're doing it to the best of our ability. And we'll continue to do that until we're no longer up here. I hope next year's contract has that kind of support, at least for another year.
I better look at that ending date one more time.
But I do, okay, I'm stopping.
No,
They
you're
told me.
good. Yes. Oh, it's great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of this district. I'm proud of the staff that we work with. I wish them a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, the whole works. This is the last time we get to talk to the community as a group. Want to put the well wishes out for Martinsville, from the Habitat build to how we take care of our kids. We do a great job here, and I'm blessed to be a part of the MSD of Martinsville for now 30 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Board members, any comments from board members?
I,
Go ahead,
ahead,
you
Matt.
first.
well, what I would like to add to what Eric said, I was the privileged to be on that visit with Dr. Jenner, with Rod Bray. It was great to see the Brooklyn STEM. I want to thank Shannon. I want to thank Sharon Gooden, that being the coordinators. They put a lot of effort into that. The teachers do. They work real well. Seeing those kids learn and pick it up, it was amazing at the elementary level, because I don't know how they teach elementary, because I teach high school, but they did a great job, and those kids were learning stuff. It was great to see them how light was through I forget what they were exactly, but they were learning about how light travels. It was so amazing to watch them learn and to see them pick that up and to talk with each other and to work in teams is what they're going to learn be when they're adults. And then at the high school, they talk to a computer science, and the computer science teacher they have is doing a great job. The students were explaining to us about the computer science terminology that they were learning. And it was amazing. It was very, critical thinking skills, very important of things they learned. So I thought that was very important. Some things I wanted to add too. Um, Seeing Beauty and the Beast, I don't think we had a meeting that was phenomenal. And I wanted to thank the choral director for that. Um, you know, there's just things going on. Eric mentioned the madrigals, but we've got a lot of great teachers that are doing a lot of great things at the high school, and seeing the STEM and going through that with Rod Bray, with the superintendent of public instruction. It was great to see our students and how they interact and how they explain things. And she was very hands on. So that was important. Another thing too is our FFA in our Martinsville, we just started DECA again, and they're competing, and the FFA is competing, and they have advisors, and they're taking what they learn in the classroom and they're putting those into practice and applying what they learn to those competitions. So I think that's great too. And the athletic programs, we've been doing a great job with those. Kip's done a great thing of how, he, with a lot of comments from outside the community, how our people are good sportsmanship, how we do things the right way. I was in attendance at the Martinsville Monrovia wrestling match at Monrovia. Our, getting to see both schools. I teach at Monrovia, but the Martinsville wrestlers did a great job. The coaching staff, and the way they presented themselves and were there to compete. And I think the sportsmanship, that I saw in both schools. So just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Very good. Anyone else?
I would just add, kind of echo what Ms. McGowan said, that statement, thank you for the opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity for our kids in this district. And my oldest started 5 or 6 years ago, and I've seen just with my own eyes the improvement with the implementation of the STEAM, the project Lead the Way, how things have really improved with the opportunities. Um, and that was evident, especially the high school with the next generation career open house we had. There's a lot going on and a lot of opportunities, and that really is due to staff, teachers, everybody who's involved, from bus drivers, cafeteria workers, clinic workers, everyone. Uh, people here, everybody I know cares about the kids and cares about their future, and wants to set them up with a better opportunity than they had themselves, which that's really all you want for your kids. So my thanks to Mr. Bowen, Mrs. Lips, and everybody else involved with the district, fellow board members. It's a lot to be thankful for. You always could find things that aren't, you know, right, but that's true in life. But focus on the good, and there's a lot of good, and what is good, increase it.
Agreed. Anyone else? Thank you. We'll say thank you to everyone. We haven't adjourned yet, but I do want to say with the holidays coming up, I hope everyone gets to spend time with their family and friends. And if you're traveling, safe travels to everyone. Thank you to Becky's Baked Goods for our little goodie bags. I can't wait to eat those when I get in the car.
She tried taking mine and said I didn't need it.
And
Which is not right.
so yeah, so we won't be meeting again before Christmas, but Merry
on this
Christmas to
side.
everyone, and I hope everyone remembers the true reason as to why we celebrate. So just thank everyone for everything, and with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjourning signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Look at Luke.
I knew, I saw